Jorginho v Chappell. You guys know this story. I spoke about this ad nauseum when it dropped. You guys know the story. To give you a brief synopsis of the story, Chappell is performing at some festival in Brazil. She's staying in some hotel. In that hotel she's staying at, she's getting breakfast. As she's getting breakfast, some 10-year-old girl that loves Chappell sees her, walks past her table to get a better look at her, sits back on the table with her mum. 5 minutes later, Chappell's security guard comes to that 10-year-old girl's table, tells the 10-year-old girl, don't come near Chappell's table again, tells off the 10-year-old, tells the mum to get her 10-year-old in check. The 10-year-old starts crying. It then transpires that 10-year-old is the stepdaughter of a famous Brazilian football player, Italian football player, Jorginho. That girl's mum is the ex-wife of Jude Law. And it becomes a big scandal because Jorginho goes on Instagram, the football player, and says on the Instagram stories that Chappell is rude and the security guards are horrible and she made his little girl cry, blah, blah, blah. Chappell is known to be a bit of a, a little bit of a grumpy lady. And people believe the story that she was rude and she was harsh and she made a security guard shout at this 10-year-old girl and made her cry. Whole little drama piled on to that, right? The mum came out, said something, blah, 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 blah. Chappell's rude to her fan. Chappell hates kids. That drama starts. Well, the update. Here's the update. Jorginho, the football player, the stepdad of this daughter, has released a new statement. He's released a new statement. Now clarifying that Chappell had nothing to do with the security guard that approached his daughter. So what the fuck is going on? Is Chappell a bitch or is she not a bitch? Did what they say happen or not? I'm not too sure what to do now. Because at first I thought we all hated Chappell because although she was supremely talented, a very gifted artist, she seems like she has an attitude that fucking stinks. She's always getting into arguments with paparazzi, with photographers, with eager fans. She fucking is a global superstar, but tries to dictate people about how her personal boundaries and space should be, when really and truly, when you're a celebrity of her status, you should accept that you have no such thing as personal boundaries or whatever else it may be, right? That's what we all fucking understand when it comes to celebrity. What is the truth? I'm so confused. So let's read the Jorginho statement. Jorginho statement. I would like to give an update. Hold on, let me get this on the big screen because this is fucking crazy how this one transpired. I would love to give an update on what happened during Lollapalooza weekend. As we have been seeing and hearing a lot over the past few days or weeks, it felt it was important to clarify everything now that new information has come to light. I made my initial statement in the heat of the moment, after hearing that my child and wife had been approached by an adult male security guard in the intimidating way. I reacted as any father would. My priority and always will be protecting my family, and that's exactly what I did. I also want to make clear that the situation did occur as it was originally described. At the time, we acted on information that was available to us. Since then, I become aware of new information that changed my understanding of the past that happened. Chappell made a public statement, reached out privately to Catherine, and our teams also spoke directly. It became clear that she had no knowledge of what had took place at breakfast, had not asked anyone to approach them. She was understanding and sympathetic to what had happened to our child. Bullshit. I'm sorry. I've watched enough live streamers. I've watched enough celebrity TV drama footage in my life to know that security rarely act in ways that their client don't want them to act. Very rarely do security bodyguards act in a way that their clients do not want them to act in. So if a bodyguard is being overly aggressive, is being overly in your face, whatever else it may be, it's usually because they've had a conversation with their client and they've said, whenever we get to this location, I want you to make it very clear that I'm not stopping. So security will make sure that they get in front, they tell everybody go, they're shouting, they're pushing, they're waving the fucking flashlight. You know what I mean? Like usually. In some occasions, security can go and do their own thing, But most of the time, they do what the client wants. If the client wants them to stand back and let the client have their time with their fans, they do so. If the client wants the security to stand in front of them and make way so they can go straight from the car to the venue, they'll do so. Very rarely. So I don't. There's no way that I believe this security guard just decided to walk up to a 10-year-old and say, "Stop walking past this table." For sure, Chappell Roan said something. As she was eating her eggs, she looked up and said, "Hey, I saw that girl walk past. Don't make sure she knows she can't walk past again." There's no way that security guard did that on their own, especially to a 10-year-old girl. If that was an adult, a whole different story. But to a 10-year-old girl, I don't think so. It continues. The security guard himself has since confirmed publicly that he was representing another artist at the hotel at the time. While we still do not know what prompted him to approach them and do not believe an 11-year-old at breakfast could reasonably be seen as any kind of security threat, it's not now clear that he was not acting on behalf of Chappell. Hold on. So there was a security guard at the breakfast whatever lounge of this hotel who was looking after another celebrity, but then he saw that 11-year-old walk past Chappell Roan's table, but then just, come on, man, this makes no sense. This makes no sense, man. This is obviously, I get why Chappell Roan's doing this. Her PR is terrible, right? Her PR is fucking terrible. Talent is obviously supreme, but her PR is garbage. People think that she's a proper bitch. They think she's horrible. She makes children cry, right? It's one thing shouting at paparazzi. Everyone's going to give you credit for that one, right? Shouting at paparazzi, telling over-eager stans to leave you alone and give you distance and give you space and respect your privacy. That's one thing. But making an 11-year-old girl cry is a proper, like, that's inexcusable, right? No one's ever going to be on your side there. So I get how she's trying to, recover her image or recover reputation, but come on. Like, we can read between the lines. We can ascertain what really happened. What happened was what they said happened, I think, for the most part. They have no reason to lie, and now they're just trying to clean it up. It is what it is. It was ultimately a misunderstanding in that respect, and I'm glad to set the record straight. It's important to me to get the clarified fairly and accurately. I regret the impact the situation has had on Chappell Roan, Catherine, Ada, and our family. He put Chappell Roan's name first, by the way, before his daughter and his wife. Shameless. The people think the celebrity. She probably offered them a free tickets to a back room, whatever. How utterly shameless. You put Chappell Roan's name first before your wife and your fucking stepdaughter. Come on, man. Shameless. I will always stand up for my family, but I also know how to recognize when things were not quite what they seemed at first. Thank you for the support we received during the sensitive moment. I do, however, want to make one thing clear. I don't support or encourage any hate speech or online attacks or from any side. Respect, empathy. You can't do that, though. You can't put out stuff that he put out, knowing full well it was going to bring loads of hate and attacks onto Chappell Roan. Then when she contacts you directly and says, "Hey, I'm sorry," you then try and say, "Oh no, don't." Come on, man. You started the hate. You fucking stoked the flames. You put the battery in the backs of the people that already hate her anyway to kind of continue hating her. The damage is already done. These apologies do nothing. The damage has already been done. The damage has already been done. I don't support or encourage any hate speech. Respect, empathy, humility are values I carry and teach my children and my family every single day. As far as I'm concerned, this matter is closed. Yeah, I bet it's closed. And it wouldn't surprise me if next time we see that 11-year-old girl on stage, we see her in the VIP section. Oh, whatever, man. Whatever. I don't know, like, call me a psycho, right? Call me a psycho, but I actually like how much. Yo, big up, casual.
Big up AZ, big up chat. Miss the RS fam. Saluting face emoji. Hopefully I'm safe from BGL this time. Eyes emoji. Eyes emoji. Eyes emoji.
Yo, big up BGL. Big up casual too. That was a legendary stream last one. Absolutely legendary stream. Big up BGL. Big up casual. Big up blood clot BGL. Big up casual. You love to see it. I don't mind her, Unpopular opinion. I don't mind Chappell Roan. I don't mind her. I don't mind that she's a bit of a bitch. I don't mind that she's a little bit hard to deal with. She's a little bit hard to root for. I mean, I don't mind it. She's a human being in that respect. I think the whole like, oh, give me personal space, respect my privacy, respect my boundaries is a little bit insulting, right? You don't really have boundaries when you're a celebrity. There are no such thing as boundaries. I find the whole boundaries thing is insulting, but I don't know. I kind of like that she's a person, you know? Like, she's not like she doesn't have like a celebrity persona. Like, I think she'd be as much of a bitch, as much of a difficult person, as unlikable if she wasn't famous. I think if you bumped into her and she's working in a fucking coffee shop, you'd hate her instantly. You get me? Like, I think she'd be just as hateable. You would hate her if she's working in a vintage store, if she worked at a record store. She'd come across rude. You know what I mean? I think she'd act exactly the same way. So I quite like that she keeps that same energy. Even though she's a big celebrity, a big star, she still acts the same way. Even in situations where people try to be nice, like to kids, just to kind of fake that they're nice, she still is a bit of a bitch. I kind of like it. I'm not going to lie. I kind of like it. We got the stream chat. What are you guys saying? Is if you had kids, would your opinion change? Oh, that's a good point. If I had kids, would my opinion change? If I had kids, it'd be difficult, innit? Because I guess that's a good point. It'd be twofold. If I had kids, I think I would be a lot more sympathetic to fucking Jorginho's plight, because Chappell Roan is his daughter's favorite artist. If that's me, and if I was the girl, I would never listen to Chappell Roan again. But when you're a parent, you have to navigate that, because he probably would like just burn all the shit, but you have to kind of navigate that a bit differently. You kind of have to. I don't know what I'd do. But I don't think I'd suck up to her. I don't think I would like be on the phone with a team and accept apologies and then write a statement, walking it all back and trying to make it sound like it was all one big misunderstanding when it wasn't a misunderstanding. It wasn't. You knew exactly what time it was. He's a celebrity himself, right? Jorginho's a celebrity himself. He's a famous football player himself. He knows what the game is. There was no misunderstanding. What happened. So if I was him, I don't think I would do all this fucking backtracking to appease a famous singer. I'd be like, fuck that. You know what I mean? Fuck that. Line in the sand. We don't listen to no Chappell Roan in this house anymore. And just move on from there. But easier said when I don't have the kids. Easier said when I don't have the kids. Big up Chip Diesel. She's pretty annoying as a person, but I think she's a good singing. Don't need her to be nice. Enjoy the music. Heard her do a cover of Dreams. Yeah, that's a problem that I think you do, brother. I think you do. I think Ye being cancelled for Wireless, I think is proof of it. I don't think it's enough to just be talented. Nowadays, I don't think it's not just to be talented. I think now that you have to also be somewhat of a decent human being. I think just being talented is not enough. It's not enough anymore. Just being talented is not enough anymore. People will start shutting doors, because it wouldn't surprise you if this also was in part due to Chappell Roan's team making sure she doesn't miss out any opportunities, because this is bad PR. It could affect other business deals down the line. We're seeing it with fucking Ye. He put out a whole apology. He did the fucking therapy. He's on the medication. But still, his Wireless set got cancelled. You know? Because he was acting like an arsehole and said the stuff that he said about the Jews and, you know, and Israeli people and whatever else it may be. I don't think he could get away with it. So as great as her music is, that's the thing with her. She's too young and she's not that talented to get away with that kind of behavior. She has to if she's a little bit older, it wouldn't really matter. But she's too young to do this sort of stuff now. This could like torpedo her career. There's no need. Like, there's no need to there's just no need for it, you know? You're better off just like being nice and just kind of playing nice at least until your late 30s or early 40s. And then if you want to be a total fucking bitch, shut in, you know, antisocial artist, cool. But not now, man. You're too early. You're too early, girl. But anyway, big up Chappell Roan.